there was a sentiment of our village president and a small majority of our board that Maywood would benefit from having a lot of the day-to-day decisions being given to the elected officials versus the professional management structure that we currently had. And so it was brought to question on April 1st, 2025, and the council manager form of government prevailed. Shortly after the Maywood Village Board of Trustees decided by a slim majority to pass the referendum questions to be on the ballot on April 1st of 2025, I took ownership of the idea of sharing helpful information to the residents so they can make an educated decision on what form of government they wanted to proceed with. And ultimately, I supported the council manager form of government and retaining it because I think it's best to have professional management handling the day-to-day operations versus having elected officials running the day-to-day operations. And also that form of government, the council manager form of government, is more commonplace in our area, and we do not see strong mayor form of government in our area. One of the reasons why I believe the strong mayor form of government did not succeed in the village of Maywood is because you just don't see them much in Illinois. You will typically see, especially for a small to mid-sized village, you'll either see the council manager form of government or a hybrid of the mayor council form of government. Strong mayor form of government requires that a community break up into wards and that you have alder persons within those wards that ultimately work with a strong mayor to run the village. And so compared to a professional, nonpartisan person that has a background in public administration and running this type of municipal organization, that was more appealing to our residents and to the culture of the west suburbs of Chicago. As a supporter of the council manager form of government, it was important for me to educate the residents on the difference between the council manager form of government and the strong mayor form of government. In the council manager form of government, you get the benefit of hiring a village administrator or a village manager to run the day-to-day operations. If things aren't going well, you have the ability to ultimately terminate that person and replace them with someone that is more fit for the role. In the strong mayor form of government, you take those day-to-day decision-making authority and you give it to the elected officials, and you do not have the ability to fire them. And to recall an elected official is very difficult, if not impossible, depending on your community. One of the other advantages of the council manager form of government is the risk management portion of it. Not only does it give the appearance that you have safeguards between elected officials making decisions with public resources and public assets, you also have a professional that has the experience of running this type of organization, adhering to things like audits and other mandatory obligations, where the elected officials can focus more on policy, civic engagement, and strategic initiatives. One of the great things about the council manager form of government is that you get to hire a professional to run the day-to-day operations. One caveat about it being an elected official is the criteria is very slim. You need to be a certain age, you need to live in the community for at least a year, be a registered voter, and that's primarily about it. But it takes more to run an organization like a municipality, like a village or a city. And so you want to hire a professional that has the background in HR and accounting and risk management and has an understanding of municipal services and obligations and mandated things that are required to run a municipality that uses public resources and assets. And so it's really important to understand that, because you also have the flexibility of terminating a underperforming village manager or village administrator. You do not have the flexibility to fire an elected official. My background is in accounting, risk management, financial planning, and analysis. And so I always think about things from a risk management perspective. And so one of the things that I wanted to share is your organization is less risky when you have someone responsible that has a background in running that type of organization. Your organization is innately more risky when you have individuals that are running an organization that may not have the background necessary to achieve things in a timely manner or utilizing best practices. And so I'm big on utilizing best practices when it comes to executing on municipal decisions and initiatives. And in order to be less risky, I believe the professional management form of government for local communities is the ideal structure. After the April 1st, 2025 election, the referendum passed that we would retain the council manager form of government. But now what? There's really no enforcement mechanisms or anything tying us to operating in good faith with the boundaries of the council manager form of government. And so in Maywood, we saw a great response from the residents in starting different grassroots organizations, coalitions, watchdog organizations, and task force to help advise the village board on how they would like to see our government operate so we can get the best out of it. And so part of it, again, is about educating yourself on the council manager form of government and getting involved. And ultimately, the residents, through committees and commissions, can help advise on current decisions and future decisions that might be happening in your community. Residents and business owners want responsive government. One of the innate challenges of the council manager form of government is that the elected officials, including maybe the village president and village trustees, don't have day-to-day authority to make decisions. And so I believe the best way to get the most out of the council manager form of government from the elected officials' perspective is to have a really great village manager that everyone on the board can work with to make sure that the village manager has what they need to execute on the ideas and the commitments of the village trustees. Another way to get the most out of the council manager form of government is having established citizen-led committees and commissions. We need the experts in our community to help us make decisions in our community. And that also will give the village board an understanding of what's the appetite, the will, and the need of the residents, coupled with the managerial experience and expertise of the village manager to help make and arrive at the best decision for the residents. One of my observations within the council manager form of government that I would like to share with residents and community members is democracy is a participatory sport. It's not self-executing in a way that we think laws are. So in other words, you get what you put in. And I would encourage residents to join committees, join commissions, go to village board meetings and participate in public comment and advise your representatives on what you would like to see your community resources allocated to, or how you would like to prioritize certain decisions within the community.